2 points just now. At a very basic level, what we want to do is, for our environment, is we don't think you should be going to a branch to open an account. We should be able to enable you to open an account remotely.
Everyone knows that FNB is known for its innovative approach to banking. That is hand in hand, sort of the sector that you operate within. And you also have the highest number of retail clients, is my understanding.
I wouldn't know.
How is FNB leveraging its people and technology to ensure, that seamless customer experience?
So this is there's a long and a short answer to this.
Okay.
I'll try the short one. So this is our reading of where we are. One, we are living in times where technology is transforming every sector.
Yes.
And by extension, every society. And the type of disruption that we're going through right now is like none that the world has ever seen. Now, in our view, and there's one unique thing about it. Oftentimes when we think about transformative things that happen in societies, we expect a boom, one big explosion of something, or a new idea that gets everybody running. And then we build businesses and communities around that big idea. The way technology has evolved in the last 20 odd years, 20 to 30 years, as one would read it, it's spreading in a manner that it's almost virus-like. It's spreading quickly in things, or in a manner that people don't really take note of how substantive the changes are. So it's what we have seen across different types of technology is a permeation and a spreading of this through society in subtle means that you wake up years later and realize you actually could not live without a particular device, or you could not live without, you could not run your affairs, without utilizing certain things. So we take swiping a card on a speed point. We don't even think twice about it. But at some point, there was the first speed point and the first card. And those things we take for granted today. It has happened with online banking, it has happened with the app, and now it's happening with artificial intelligence. And we are adopting all of those things. So technology itself is a disruptor. We have to recognize that. The second thing aligned to that is that the customer, because of all that customers have seen in the last 2 or 3 decades, has raised their expectations. The level of patience that they have to queue is gone. The level of patience that they have to wait for a decision of yes or no is gone. So when you consider that, the disruptive effect of tech and the evolved customer who does not, or has very little reason to give you days and weeks to come back with a decision or to execute an instruction, you then think about the cost that we are all spending to adopt all of these technology solutions that are hitting us at the same time. And you say, so what should the bank look like? How should the bank respond? So the way we've interpreted that has said we need to prioritize customer experience, both from an understanding of who the customer is and also from an understanding of the technology options that we now have that we didn't have even 3 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. And in combining those two perspectives, we've come up with fairly simple bullet points, and we will be going out to the market and having these conversations. The first one is that we have to eliminate the friction that customers have around experience. A lot of that friction is created by too many human interventions in the value chain. We have different interpretations of the law, different moods, different takes on transactions. We've got biases, etc. So how do you filter that out and get the customer to making a decision without stressing about too much human intervention? So one example I made to a discussion we're having with one of the teams is that when I go to work in the morning, I start the engine of my car and I think about what I'm going to do at work. I never think about, will the car start? Is there any issues with the electric wiring?
Yes.
Is the battery okay? That's the level of reliability that manufacturers have built, especially on the newer cars. So I worry about what I want to achieve, not about the manner in which it's almost now intuitive.
Yeah.
So how do we get technology to, our services to almost be like that? When you think about, to get you not to think about banking, but to think about what you want to do with your money. If it's a trip to Europe, worry about the trip to Europe. Don't worry about, will my card swipe when I get there? So we need to remove the friction, and I can unpack how, at least in our thinking, how that can be done. So at a very basic level, I'll talk to the other 2 points just now. At a very basic level, what we want to do is, for our environment, is we don't think you should be going to a branch to open an account. We should be able to enable you to open an account remotely. If we have to deliver a card to where you live, if you do need a card, as most customers would, or have to ask you to come in to collect and sign one or two pieces of documents if you have to.
Yes.
We've got the ability to do that. So how do we do that and do it in a manner that is inclusive, for the rest of society? Because not everybody has a smartphone, not everyone has a Wi-Fi connection, not everyone has an email address. So we will be going out somewhere in the next 60 days. We'll be going out to the market.
That soon.
To drive this remote account opening. Call us, reach us through the app.
Yeah.
App Apply or some of the platforms that we have, WhatsApp. Send an email to a dedicated email address. We will start the process. And so when you come to the bank, you're coming to the bank to, if you want to collect what you need to collect. So we've thought about that. We've thought about, if you have to apply for a personal loan, why do you have to come to the branch? There's this well-established expectation that if I need a loan, I must walk to a bank. No, you should be able to call and access us through the platforms that we have, through the app, through the many different channels, and let us process this. You need not come to the bank at any given time. I know one of the limitations has been the contracting process. Fortunately, I think in the last couple of years, Eswatini has allowed laws that we believe now allow us to contract electronically. One of the things that in our environment is also quite telling, customers, big and small alike, there's still a lot of coins in the system. And it takes a long time to count coins, and to organize the coins, to have them counted, and then to have a teller accept them. It's a lot of human time that could be better invested in helping you make much more important decisions. So we have already purchased coin counters that will be in all of the branches somewhere in the next 60 days. And we'll be asking customers to deposit the coins there. And then for now, to just submit the slip inside and we give you the credit. Ideally, we do want to create a link between that coin depositor and your account so that this whole thing is automated. We are also, I think we spent a lot of time to build or rebuild our thinking around private banking. And this has been from learnings, and it was quite intense around the pandemic era. We should be able to service our customers that have these needs without them physically coming here. So we are building a capability to be able to assist with advisory and wills, estate management within the bank. And part of the logic is there's a discomfort in a person to talk to the bank about financials, and then you go talk to a lawyer who then talks to another lawyer, and then the file is being moved around.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where this might actually end up. So we would like to help in-house all of that. And then we've invested quite heavily in some infrastructure, including this head office, where we're encouraging customer interface. We've just finished a branch at Matsapa Lifestyle. It's not a branch. We intend for it to be a customer experience center. So in the front, you've got service or customer experience employees, service consultants that are meant to problem solve for customers, those who want to go there. But in the back office, there are people that should be able to solve the problems there. So there's a team of 50, 60 odd people there that is helping to solution for this thing. So it may sound fairly basic for developed markets, but these small changes here are meant to prepare the ground for something bigger. Now, the second category of things that we're looking at is that we have a lot of information on customers that we think could be helpful to you. And what we collect around KYC, as I've said, your ID, we keep a copy, your address, your physical address, your contact details, etc. That information can probably be used a lot more intelligently. And I'm quite excited that through the Bankers Association, finally, we seem to have a government that is seeing this thing in the same light, because we have tried to open the subject up before with very little, success. So why would, if we've got a copy of your ID, why would you go to Home Affairs to apply for a passport or to receive your passport? Why would it not happen through banks? In other markets, it is happening. You're looking at your license disc or any other public services for that matter.
Yes.
So there seems to be an openness that we're very excited about with the current government around use our infrastructure to eliminate the need for people, to travel. And a big part of the benefit there is we could also be helping to manage our own carbon footprint and those of customers. You eliminate this up and down thing. And then the last part around experience. There are indicators that perhaps for us and maybe for some of the other banks in the sector, we are operating at the edges of our commercial banking licenses. There's a big question around what else can we do?
Okay.
That may not be a bank, but it overlaps with what we do. So there's a lot of thinking and a lot of debate around that. But we will go out to market once we've got a stronger sense.
My favorite thing about FNB, I think, is this: you do so well to solve for the customer. I think you really put yourself in the customer's shoes and sort of say, what will it take? What else can we do? And I'm excited about this idea of reimagining banking or financial services, and then seeing how that future goes. I think the branch. Obviously, I was reacting off camera, but my eyes were literally shooting into my head every time you kept counting. And it seems like small things, like coin counters, I think you called them. Transformative, right? Transformative. And in a few years, it's going to seem like this distant idea that you had, but it's going to reduce the friction, I think is the word that you used, when people interact with their banking services.
I appreciate the feedback, but I also think we as a sector, and not specifically as FNB, this thing should have been done 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. When we had the meeting, I think with one of the government agencies or departments recently, our view was this may be groundbreaking in courts today, but it's 20 years behind the curve. We should have done these things a lot earlier. But now we've got the technology, we've got the capital to do it, and we've got, we believe, a government and government agencies that are willing to partner. So I'm hoping that somewhere soon we can reach agreements around how this thing would look going forward. But yes, we have to solve for the customer. If we aren't solving for customers, what else are we doing? One other point that I would raise, Nona, is I know that some customers will disagree and say, no, but you guys are still, FNB is still taking time. There's still queues. And I would agree with them. But I also know that 10 years ago or 15 years ago, those queues used to go around the branch.
Indeed.
When we introduced more ATMs and automated deposit tellers,
yes,
and we changed quite a bit and created a customer support center, those queues collapsed. And they are now inside the branches, but it is still too much. A queue is too much. There should not be any queues. So if there's criticism, I think it's very fair. And now the conversation is that what does that last mile of the transformation project look like? And hopefully customers will be receptive and know that when we ask them to do things remotely, it's not because we don't like them. We think we should be saving their very expensive hours to do other things that matter more.
I'm excited. I also heard you say, pardon me, that as soon as you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's with the branch transformation, you're going to go to market and help us come along this journey with you as well.
It's going to be an uncomfortable change because from an experience perspective, it takes you 1 or 2 steps backwards.
Yes.
But we still think we've got the will and the technology to still leapfrog.